here's the man that needs no introduction.
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
I've always wanted to do this.
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
What's your connection to Parkinson's disease?
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
Sorry, that's my foot.
I'll do better next time. Hey everybody, it's Jim here. Welcome to the Spinning Wheels Parkinson's Conversations with Jim here podcast. I'm here in Ottawa, Ontario. My good friend Mike Logren is there in Toronto. Before we begin, just a reminder that the podcast is brought to you in part by PDT, the healing power of tea applied to Parkinson's. Go to pdt.com for more information. I'm very grateful and excited for today's episode. I met this woman in Barcelona at the World Parkinson Congress. She's from Calgary, Alberta. Welcome, Denise Lawson.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
No problem. So, Denise, let's jump right into it. Tell us about your Parkinson's journey so far.
Well, I was diagnosed a mere 2 years ago. The first 6 months or so, I remember being pretty awful, just kind of sorting out what I thought about this whole thing about Parkinson's, and feeling a lot of fear and disbelief that this could happen to me. But I had some very good friends who were suggesting that I do some mindfulness meditation and try to sort of work on my attitude toward this diagnosis. And it was, I think, quite successful because with the help of meditation, a little bit of drugs help as well, sort of lifted my spirits. And now I'm feeling actually like this has almost given me a new focus, I guess you might say, for my life. I also, around the same time that I was diagnosed, I also retired. It wasn't because of the diagnosis, that was planned already. I found myself with time on my hands. I put it to use researching Parkinson's disease and getting involved in the Parkinson's community. It's been great.
I'm sorry, first of all, that you have Parkinson's, but congratulations. That's an awesome attitude to be honest with you. It's of the people we've talked to so far, and I know it hasn't been that many. I think you're the first person to bring up mindfulness and meditation. Did you dabble in that before your diagnosis?
A little bit. I had a couple of postpartum depressions as well, way back when, and found that meditation was somewhat helpful then as well. And I think a lot of it is just an attitude shift. I think I've come to the realization that, well, there's a little ditty that goes, yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. So live it fully and celebrate.
When you're looking back a couple of years ago, what was the thing that was starting to say, hey, there might be something wrong here?
When I first noticed it was right before COVID. We were down in Mexico on a holiday, and I was walking along a beach. It was kind of tough going, soft sand and all that, and my hand started to get tense. My left hand. I thought, oh, this is weird. I should probably talk to the doctor about this. But then like a week later, we were in the midst of COVID and nobody was going anywhere. And I thought, well, this is not, it's not urgent. So I'll leave it for a little while. Then my doctor went on maternity leave. And so I put it off a little longer. Anyway, then I happened to be together with some girlfriends. I should mention I'm a retired physiotherapist, and some physio friends of mine, when we were together, noticed that I wasn't swinging my arm when I was walking and said, I think you better get this checked out. So I made the appointment with the doctor. And yeah, once they ruled out tumors and things like that, I kind of went, I think I know what this is.
You see a neurologist in Calgary, a movement disorder specialist?
Yeah, I go to the movement disorders clinic here in Calgary.
Okay.
And see my neurologist about once a year.
Mm-hmm. What about other supports in Calgary? Do you attend a support group?
I have been once to a support group. I think for the first year or so, I was kind of not sure that this is for me. But I'm sort of realizing that it is good to be connected. I've done some volunteer work for the Parkinson's Association of Alberta.
So then now we'll transition into I've actually met Denise for about 15 minutes, and it was in Barcelona. And she was part of the Bike to Barcelona crew. You might remember we interviewed Steve Eisman a little bit earlier on, and she was biking with Steve on the bike going to Barcelona. So can you tell me about that? What was that like? It was 1,600 kilometers?
1,600 kilometers, 16 days of riding. And it was a fabulous experience. I really wondered when I signed up for this whether I could do it, because I've been a recreational cyclist. I went to Italy and I cycled about 30 kilometers a day for 5 days, and thought I was doing a great thing. And then when I found out that this ride that I had inquired about was 1,600 kilometers, I was I didn't think I could do it, but I talked to my husband about it, and he agreed to, a little tentatively, but he agreed to come along with me for moral support. We started our training program and kept working away at it, worked through a couple of little injuries. And when it came to do the bike ride, it was hard. I found the first 3 or 4 days were really hard, just sort of getting into the groove. And then once you're in the groove, it was just like, okay, it's another day of cycling. Up we get, on we go. And the patisseries kept us going through the day. And
Those always do help, I hear.
and then it was nice to have a glass of wine at the end of the day too.
It's amazing how your body can adjust to doing more than what you think it can do after a while. And 1,600 kilometers, that's a long way. So yeah, I have no doubt that you were worried about whether or not you could do it at the beginning. So what were a couple of highlights besides the wine and bread?
I guess the highlight for me was arrival in Barcelona. We cycled to our hotel, and then we all sort of grouped together there and cycled off as a group of 19 cyclists to the conference center where the Congress was to be held. And the local Parkinson's Association in Catalonia had put together a welcome party for us. And so we rode in, dinging our bell. And one girl had been gifted a whistle because she was our traffic cop. She was whistling away, and then everybody started clapping and yelling. And it was like just a wonderful way of noting our achievement.
Oh, absolutely. You must have felt so good.
Yeah, I really did.
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, isn't it? You're feeling so good about the whole thing, and you should. That is an incredible accomplishment to get there. So congratulations for that. It's so impressive. Well, what kind of training did you do for this?
Well, started out about 9 months before. I went out and bought myself a trainer so that I could train over the winter, because Canadians have to think about that sort of thing. We got started with an app called Zwift, where you basically have an avatar on the screen that pedals away, and there are other avatars of other cyclists that are zooming past you, or you're zooming past them. And
I've been on Zwift before, and mainly they're zooming past me.
yeah, mainly they were zooming past me as well. We had a contingent from Norway. They were a lot more tech savvy than I was. One of the guys set up a group where you can band the riders so that we would ride with the Norwegians in this banded format. And then we'd also open up a chat room so that we could encourage each other, listen to each other puffing and panting. So that really kind of helped to keep us motivated.
And you've stayed in touch with some of them?
Oh yes, we're still getting WhatsApp messages from some of them, and I haven't actually got a bike on a trainer right now, so I'm not Zwifting. April came around, we were able to get the bicycles off the trainer and take them out on the road, and we explored every bike path I think there is in Calgary, and a few in Banff and the mountains as well. So we logged a lot of kilometers. One of the guys in the group had done a lot of triathlon training in the past, and he drew up a very detailed map of, I think it was about 20 weeks worth of training and how many miles you should be doing and at what degree of resistance and all this kind of stuff. So we had no idea what we were doing. So we sort of took this as the Bible.
I think that was pretty good fortune, actually. I mean, when we did the Spinning Wheels tour.
And here's the ever popular segment, Jim's Spinning Wheels Tour Flashback.
Started to come across Canada, the train, I was on Zwift as well, in terms of I didn't feel like riding through 3 feet of snow, but I had no idea what I was doing. And I believe that showed the first week of our journey. I was like the second day of real cycling. I didn't drink as much as I needed to. I cramped up and was lying on the ground in agony. And I think you did a good thing by following a training plan. I highly recommend them for a long distance cycling trip. Denise, tell me what were your thoughts about the World Parkinson Congress in Barcelona?
Well, it was the first time I'd ever been to a Parkinson's Congress. The first day, I kind of got in over my head. I went to some of the scientific presentations and realized that, no, I don't really need to know this stuff about lysosomes and nanotubules and things like that. I think I'll concentrate more on things that are relevant to me and my journey with Parkinson's. Actually enjoyed some of the round table discussions where you had about 10 or 12 people sitting around a table just discussing a topic. The thing that I found so refreshing about the World Parkinson's Congress is the fact that they have clinicians, researchers, people with Parkinson's, care partners, service providers, all in the same room, all discussing the topics. And that is something really special, because most other medical conferences that I've been to have been heavily on the research side. It really makes for a different experience having all stakeholders present. I really appreciated the art part of it as well. They had artwork done by various people with Parkinson's. People who'd written books got a chance to show off their books. They had dance sessions, and the opening ceremonies were literally kind of a look what we can do type of thing. It was great hearing people singing and doing chair dancing and drumming, and it was really cool.
Now that you're an accomplished long distance cyclist, are you going to keep on cycling?
Absolutely. I've already been on several rides around Calgary with my cycle club, which is called the Old Spokes. And we're thinking about what our next cycle trip will be. I've had offers to go to Ireland, offers to do a cross Canada relay, trying to figure that out now, just what our next trip will be.
Okay. I've heard a story about the cross-country relay. I think that has some real potential, but we'll have to see how it develops for sure. Hey, everybody, it's Jim here. Wow, I'd like to thank Denise Lawson from Calgary, Alberta, for joining us on the Spinning Wheels Parkinson's Conversations with Jim here podcast. I met Denise briefly in Barcelona, Spain, at the World Parkinson Congress. She was part of the Bike to Barcelona crew that cycled 1,600 kilometers from Brighton, UK to Barcelona, Spain, accomplishing that from only being a recreational cyclist before she started. So, you know what? Kudos to you, Denise. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your Parkinson's journey with us. Hey, everybody, really appreciate you listening and watching the podcast. If you could do us a favor and refer or recommend this podcast to one person you know, we would really appreciate that.
His first comments was, it tastes awful. And, that maybe that works for cough syrup, but it shouldn't be the case for tea. So PDT tastes nice.